Hello and welcome to the Free Outside Show. If it looks like I'm in like a dingy prison cell or something, I'm in like a hotel room with the worst acoustics of all time. In fact, I'm gonna make this thumbnail the photo of where I'm doing this podcast. So I think we're just gonna be testing my audio editing skills with pretty slow internet and my microphone set up while on the road, because I do not have a standard location to record anymore, which is part of the fun. I think I do have one more episode that will come out that I recorded when I did have a home. So you'll get to see Ted and the tiger and all that until I have a new studio, of course, once I've made it big. But anyways, I am live out here. I am alive out here on the Appalachian Trail up north because I am training. So I wanted to just dive into training camp, and I'm 1 week in and I have 1 week to go. This is my second training camp. The first was I combined it with Bighorn 100 along with pacing Nick Fowler on the Pacific Crest Trail record attempt. And so I did like 130 miles, 160 miles, and 130 miles. And then this training camp will be similar, maybe slightly bigger. But the whole goal of a training camp is exposure, at least in my opinion. Well, there's really three staples of it. So specificity is one, and that's kind of one of those things that I'm getting in this training camp, especially because I'm out here on the hardest portion of the entire trail. And so having done the trail before and talked to people that have done the trail multiple times and previous FKT holders, I settled on Southern Maine is probably going to be the hardest, and New Hampshire, northern New Hampshire. The White Mountains are going to be the second hardest portions of the trail. Luckily, they're right next to each other. So I really wanted to get out here and not only train and push myself here, but I also needed to gauge and have an idea on like how resupplies were going to look, what I could expect for mileage per day, how I could expand out an itinerary. And so that's what I'm doing out here. And just, it's not really seeing how many miles a day I can do, but it's seeing like my pace comfortably moving, what the days feel like. And boy, are they hefty. Okay. In the past week, I've had a day with 7,000 feet of gain, a day with 9,000 feet of gain, a day with 11,000 feet of gain. And I've only done like 1 30-mile day. I'm not really trying to go above and beyond and blow anything out or kill my body out here. I want really good exposure to it, but I also want plenty of rest. So the second pillar of a training camp, as I think about it, so specificity, these aren't in order of importance. I actually think you can do a really good training camp with just 2 out of the 3 of them. But rest, so like recovery time, I think that's one of the most important things, and one of the most neglected things too, is when you are doing a training camp, is to give your body the full amount of time to recover from what you're doing to it. So you just don't dig a hole so that when you get to the main event, you're just dead. So basically how I'm doing it is I am doing a couple periods where I'm testing some night hiking, but then I will sleep in the next morning. I'm trying to get a full 8+ hours of sleep, and that's even some more downtime. I'm taking the time to stretch throughout the day, do some of the things to take care of myself, couple protein shakes a day. There's people outside, it's a hotel. But so all the things to take care of myself, and another thing that falls into taking care of myself and specificity is like every little ache and pain and niggle and thing that I'm gonna want to take care of and figure out how to take care of. That's what I'm doing. So I was already planning to come into this town, but I'm also here because I have got like this cut on my toe, and then it's gotten a little infected. So I'm just taking care of that in town today too. So recovery aspect, and then also in specificity, what I'm doing is eating nearly the exact food I'm going to eat during the FKT, and making a bunch of notes on what I'd like, what I don't like about it, how I'm going to change it. And then the third thing is just decision making. So I like to think of whether it's a long run that's kind of a dress rehearsal or a training camp, this is when you can test out everything you like or don't like about certain things. So I actually traveled out here with 2 different pairs of shorts because I wasn't sure what I wanted to wear when I went for the record, because it's like really hot. It was 95% humidity most of the last week. It's a really different environment than I live in. So I really needed to train specifically with the clothing that I would be expected to wear for, 40 plus days. So I tried out 2 different styles of shorts and I sent one back. So I crossed that out. I decided on it. And then my sleeping bag I had never used before. It's basically a short sleeping bag for like a short person if you're height challenged. And it's a very lightweight. It's not built for a lot of great weather. So that makes it one of those things. I was a little nervous that I would get cold with this sleeping bag. So I just wanted to sleep in it a couple different times at like 3,000 feet at some of the shelters, because there's shelters out here. They're like 3-sided lean-tos, usually mice infested. But I wanted to sleep in these locations to see how it did and if I was cold. So I have pretty much my exact gear. My pack is a little bit heavier than it'll be for the FKT because I'm carrying a computer and a microphone to do podcast. The microphone's tiny. It mostly is for coaching calls and stuff because I'm also doing coach on the go. That's me because I don't have a home to go back to. So I have my full setup that I would take anywhere to work within my backpack, and people are still commenting on how small my backpack is. So nutrition is very specific, schedule not so specific because it's really focused on recovery, and my gear, clothing, somewhat specific because all the clothing I'm going to wear, the pack, how I'm packing it, mostly is going to be how I'm going to do the FKT. But I'm not going to be taking a laptop on the fastest known time attempt of the Appalachian Trail, unless you guys think I should. It might be nice to like get to a location with service and just like tether my phone to my laptop, record a podcast real quick, little quick sound editing, pump it up there, do a little quick ad read and shoot it out there mid FKT. I mean, that'd be legendary, right? Okay, some of the fun. So I think we can hit them all. So we have like schedule, specificity, recovery. I don't know, all the aspects of a training camp. Basically, you want to get out of it everything that makes you feel confident in the main event, and that's what I'm working on. And other than this like little toe infection that I've actually had before. So the last time that my toe felt like this was on the Continental Divide Trail in the Bob Marshall Wilderness in the middle of nowhere. It was like 220 miles or something between resupplies. I did have a stove at the time, which was good because what I would do is I would heat up water to like the hottest I could stand, and then I would soak my big toe in it, and I would, I guess, draw out the infection or something. Oh, cool. Now the fridge has started up in this room. So check out the thumbnail if you're wondering where I'm podcasting live from. So I would soak my toe in that water about 10 minutes at a time, 4 or 5 times a day, and the infection went away. I don't know how I'm going to do that out here because I don't have a stove, but I'm trying to do it a few times while I'm staying in this hotel room. Okay, where were we? So I'm here soaking my toe. Let's talk about some other things that have happened. So I forgot how much Appalachian Trail thru-hikers smoke cigarettes. Oh my gosh, they are everywhere on the trail. You can also buy them at like hostels and stuff. So that has been interesting. Also, trail names, super funny. And it's very different out here. So I spend most of my time backpacking, through hiking, trail running out west. And here it's such an ingrained culture thing. Even if people don't hike the trail, it's very much in their mind of like, where we live, it's the best, better than anywhere. And just being someone more transient who's lived a lot of places, I'm always like, nowhere's perfect. I don't even think I love anywhere I've ever lived. So it's just a very big different mindset of like where you're from is the pinnacle, or it's the most difficult, or people don't know anything until they've done your trails. It's, I don't know, it's almost territorial, which is like really cool because there's a lot of pride that goes along with it out here, especially Mainers. I just got into New Hampshire, so I'm in a different state now. But Mainers, they're just so proud of how rugged they are, how hard their winters are, how they get through everything. And I think it's really fun, but it's also like, wow, very different than the West where everyone's a transplant and like the locals just endlessly complain about transplants. Here, they just welcome new people with open arms of like, cool, welcome to our community. welcome to surviving the harsh reality of living here with us. So that's been a funny thing. Also, this trail is so hard. I don't think people realize how hard the Appalachian Trail is. There's like roots everywhere. A lot of the time, you're basically rock climbing up and down things. Like things are so steep. We're talking like 1,200 feet a mile is not uncommon. It's very often not flat. And when it is, there's like roots and rocks. So it's super technical and hard to move fast on. But people get so frustrated. I saw one woman, she was just sitting by the side of a road, just having a meltdown, and talked to her. And she just said how hard it was and how frustrating it was out here. Another place going up Grafton Notch towards the Mahoosuc Notch, which is the single hardest mile of the Appalachian Trail. So that's your trivia. Going up that, I heard this guy just screaming because he was so frustrated. And then later on, I met this other guy who was like, oh my gosh, I just had the scariest fall. Where he was like, I just fell down a sheer cliff face. And that's what we're working with here. I'm falling at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I'm surprised I haven't broke trekking poles yet, so I'm probably going to have to order another pair from Garage Grown Gear. Our first sponsor. Check out Garage Grown Gear if you want ultralight poles, if you want a kid's sleeping bag like myself that's going to be just enough to keep you uncomfortable, or an Alpha Direct hoodie, which is going to be my only insulative wear. GarageGrownGear.com. Back to the story. Things are just so rugged out here. It's really fun, but people talk about like the Mahoosuc Notch, which it's less than a mile. But some people said it took them like 2.5 hours to get through it. It took me 50 minutes. But it's basically a jungle gym of giant boulders where sometimes you're going under, sometimes you're going over, around, through, and it's just like really uneven. It's slippery. There's like a creek going through the bottom. But I have the added bonus of I did all this in the winter. So if I can't do it now, there's something wrong with me. Another time, so there's these planks because there's a lot of mud out here, obviously. Duh. So there's these planks that are just like the AMC or ATC or some acronym of letters brought out these boards and stuff. And so they are the trails so that you can kind of follow it without sinking into these mud pits. Well, sometimes they've sunk into the bog, so they're underwater and you're just guessing where they are. And yesterday I walked past the end of one and I couldn't see it. I'm just walking through brown liquid, which sounds so gross. It's just as gross as you think. And then I came to the end of the board. I didn't realize that my next step with my left leg, and I sunk down to about halfway up my quadricep, which would be my thigh for those who did not go to medical school. But that's how crazy that the trail and the mud and everything is out here. You just never know what you're going to get. So I can't average more than 2.5, 3, 2.5, probably 2.6, 2.7 is about the most I can average on this technical terrain. And that's with running flats and stuff. So it's really hard. It's also really hard to stay on top of electrolytes, salt, and hydrating because you just don't even know what's going on with your body. It might be sweat, it might be the humidity, it might be you're wet from rain, and you're just soaked all the time. And that just makes it really hard to figure things out. So I did notice that if I got in more creeks and stuff, the cooling and washing away some of like the salt lines and stuff would just work way better. So I started getting more wet in more creeks and stuff. And I think that's going to be my plan on the FKT. I also got a little sunburn today. I didn't realize that there was going to be so much sun exposure. So these are all the learnings and things that I'm trying to figure out before the FKT. My food is working fairly good, but I'm realizing I'm going to have a lot of variability in what I'm taking for me to want to eat it for 40 days. So if you guys have tips and tricks or favorite things that you eat out there that are high calorie per ounce, shoot them over to me, jeff@freeoutside.com. Also send any funny hiker stories. I'll read those. I have a few podcasts I have to bank before we start this baby off. All right. Our second sponsor, John G, JANJI thru-hikers.com. They actually make this collared shirt here. The sound was probably awful when I was messing with the mic. No big deal. But yeah, they make this. They make sun hoodies. They make visors, which I have laying on the floor over there. They make all kinds of good stuff. Oh, shorts. Duh. They're known for their shorts because they're amazing. Why are they known for their shorts? Because of me, because of this podcast, because I am telling you about their shorts. Anyways, their shorts are amazing. I haven't had any issues chafing like I thought I would. I had a few on the first day, and then it was like, oh yeah, I have to wash the salt off my body. Duh. And then once I did that, chafing, thing of the past, solved. So check out John G, use code FREEOUTSIDE, and you get a discount. What is the discount? Could be 100%, could be 0. Try it out. Use code FREEOUTSIDE at johng.com at checkout and tell them I sent you. Okay, what else do we want to talk about with this training camp? So the plan for the next week is actually I have a lot of work because I'm going to be taking a 40-day vacation and not spending it doing vacation activities. So that is a pretty dumb use of a vacation. But I have to like do a lot of work ahead of time. So I'm going to have to balance some of that in the next week. I still have some emails to write tonight. It's already 8:30. Ooh, man. I need to quit becoming an adult. Peter Pan, where are the applications at? And then I'm going to do the whites, the Prezi Traverse, all the, iconic stuff down there that is going to be pretty key to just know what I'm getting into, be good with planning, have a good idea of how well it's going to go. And like that, bingo, bango, bongo. Our last sponsor is CS Coffee, csinstant.coffee, premium freeze-dried instant coffee. All right. That is all I got. I mean, I recorded some videos, but I think I'll make a thing maybe at the end for podcast or something. But as always, really appreciate you guys. 5-star reviews really help. There's a Patreon if you want to be a part of me surviving homelessness and continuing to make these. All the money goes to a good place.
Appalachian murder ballads.
My bank account. Actually, I just bought new mics that are portable, so it's always getting reinvested back in. I pay a couple subscriptions to have better audio. We'll see if I can salvage this. I can hear the echo as I'm talking, so.
Give me the money!
It's like if you think of like a spy movie or something where maybe like a Russian spy in the 70s would be living in a home that's completely unfurnished.
You're a Russian spy?
That is what it looks like where I'm podcasting. But all the money from patreon.com/freeoutside does go right back into the podcast. We are not net positive, and I am good at math. Okay, thanks guys. Stay elite, my friends. Oh yeah, 5-star reviews help as well. And subscribe and like. And go to YouTube and also subscribe and then like all of them. And then play it in the background for your dog so it plays all the episodes in a row. And then go back and like them all and then comment so it's more engagement. All right, stay elite, my friends.
All you have to do to be entered to win is like, comment, subscribe, sell your soul to the devil, give me your left foot's big toe, favorite, send the video to 10 people, share it on Facebook, cut off your left arm. And if you do all that, you'll be entered to win.
That was a joke.